Hey, GM, everybody. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome to the show. This is Web3 Breakfast. I am your host, Jay Chains. GM. Let's get this thing all squared away. We got the pizza on the desk. We got the beer on the desk. We are ready for the show. Let's get the overlays set up. Let's get that Hulk smash the like button thing going there, guys. We do multi-stream this, by the way. So not only is this a Twitter space, but we got this thing going on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch as a live stream. So as Carrie says on YouTube, Hulk smash that pizza. You know that I'm gonna. We got an hour for the show, which means I got an hour to eat a whole pizza. I did not get the hot and ready last night like I intended to, but I did throw it in the. I did throw a frozen pizza in the oven this morning. Just pulled it out about 15 minutes ago, right as I cut that little video. Boom, baby, we are ready to go. All right, let me take care of a couple things. I'm going to bring up NFTgo.io as a co-host today, and then I'm going to bring Turbo up as my other co-host today. With the two co-hosts, that gives us plenty of opportunities to bring some speakers up. I am super excited about today. Guys, you know why I'm excited. It's pizza day, but also NFTgo.io is coming here to hang out. As you know, every single day, we one of the things that we do on this show is that we are looking at the global barometer, or I guess the market barometer, excuse me. And as you know, we started this thing it was at 10. It's now at 44. Yesterday, I put out a tweet. It was at 41, 42, and then 44. Holy smokes. I can't believe how fast that happened. But all right, let's get everybody up here on the stage. So we got NFT Go here. We got Turbo. We got 74K Jebs up. Anybody, if you feel like coming on up and chatting today, all you got to do is request it. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Typically, when we start the show, I've always got a hard time connecting my microphone to the Bluetooth and all that stuff. So what do we think? Are we connected? Can you hear me all right? All right, there we go. There's our first problem. Turbo, just keep going for a second. I got to get this thing connected because I can't hear you. So just give me a second.
Yay, it's pizza day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my favorite day of the week. I'm always very excited, to get together for pizza day. Tonight, I'm thinking thin crust. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about a thin crust pizza. I know Jay Chance, I think he's a hater of thin crust, if I remember correctly. But, I think I'll be doing a thin crust. Maybe I'll do some white sauce tonight with some mozzarella, some jalapenos, you know what I mean? Only fresh. I think that's how I'm gonna do my pizza today. Jeb, how's your mom cooking your pizza up tonight?
Oh boy, she ain't cooking no pizza, but I am thinking about getting one, and if I do, I want something spicy tonight. You know what I mean? Maybe some like spicy barbecue, a little pepperoni, maybe some, I don't know, some sort of peppers. But yeah, man, I'm feeling it now. Now that we're talking about it, I can feel the stomach growling.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. And Jeb, yesterday we were talking yesterday, and it was like 70 degrees here in Ohio, and this morning it's snowing. So this is a beautiful day. I'm glad everybody's out here, man. Seven, what's up with the pizza today, man? What you doing? What you getting on the pizza?
I'm probably gonna either make one or go to Saporitos like I always do.
Yeah, I had Sabaritos, man. That's some pretty good stuff. Mind your biz. Oh, you back, Jay?
We're back, baby. We're back. And if you are watching on the stream, I just doused my first slice with some crushed red pepper. We're about to take this thing to the house, get this show started off right with a piece of pepperoni pizza, fresh baked this morning, right from the freezer. And we're going to wash it down with a cold Miller Lite. Just, this show is not sponsored today by Miller Lite or frozen pizza. But if anybody's got a rep from Miller Lite or frozen pizza, get at me. Let's go.
Yeah, I half expect you to say it's actually sponsored by Blue Moon, but oh my gosh.
Moon?
Okay.
No way.
Just saying. Yeah. No. Well, just saying, man. It's been a weird week and weekend, but hey, I'm going to jump in and just let you know, Turbo. I'm not doing pizza this morning. I'm doing kolaches, right? If God wanted us to eat pizza during breakfast, he wouldn't have invented kolaches. All I'm saying.
Amen to
Dude,
that.
what's a kolache? I don't even know about that.
I'm eating mini pancakes.
Oh,
Everybody from Texas does, though.
Oh my God. If you've never been to, all right. So if you know what Buc-ee's is, it's like they got like 100 gas pumps at these gas stations. They're like supermarkets, they're clothing stores, they got everything literally at a gas station.
It's a madhouse. It's an absolute madhouse.
Madhouse. But literally the best thing on the planet that comes out of a Buc-ee's are the jalapeno cheddar kolaches. Oh my God. Are they good? I have some sitting in my freezer.
Or if you have to,
I get extra to put into my freezer so that I can have them at all times.
I'm just going to call out also, as soon as you're back, as soon as you're back towards the Texas Hill Country, right? Not quite in it, but as soon as you're back in Austin area, you know, and I know, maybe the audience doesn't know, anytime you're traveling I-15 between Austin to the DFW area, you got to go by the check stop. It's a requirement.
Whoa, I don't know this.
Yeah, the check stop. Oh, you are knowing about the check stop. Oh my gosh. So Buc-ee's is good, right? And when you go to Buc-ee's, you gotta do the thing, right? Once it's in eye shot, you gotta scream Buc-ee's, right? It's a thing. Just that's what the kids do, so you gotta do it too. But when you're going I-35 northbound, it's easier northbound because on the northbound side, you just exit at the check stop, and spelled like the country Czechoslovakia, right? The check stop, and they they practically invented kolaches for Central Texas. You have to go. It is a kolache playground. You like the jalapeno sausage, hotties? You like jalapeno with something else? Basically, any combination of jalapeno and savory meats they got. Any kind of sweet kolaches they've got. Not Danishes, not the same thing. Check stop though, man. As soon as you're back in town, you got to do it. You got to. I need proof of check stop when you're back, Jay Chains.
I will absolutely provide proof of check stop. That sounds wonderful. Definitely looking forward to that. GM, everybody. We got a lot of people that just showed up. Make sure that you tag a friend. What's that little thing down in the bottom right called the purple pill? The retweet button?
Yeah, you can call it that. Yeah. What? You got to give it some name.
All right.
And there's always one guy that doesn't bring pizza to the pizza party. You know what I'm saying? Got to be freaking fancy with it, but that's all right because, look, we're all inclusive here. Man, it's for everybody. Thank you all for being here, man. It's a great time. Man. NFT Go in the building. J Chain's in the building. Let's get this thing on the road, baby.
Let's get this show on the road. All right. All right, I want to talk about the report that you guys just put out. I downloaded it last night. It's like 170 some pages. I can tell you, I looked at every page. Did I digest everything? No, but I did look at every page. The substance of it, I love it. Let's talk about that because that's a very important thing that I think that you guys put out. I think a lot of insight, a lot of really cool information in there. Also, GM, what's up?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, so I woke up at 7:30 just for you beautiful people.
Let's go.
I mean 6:30. See, look, my brain's still not even active yet, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me. I'm a little bit more functional later in the day. So yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Really appreciate you guys. Do you mind if I pin a tweet here for the report?
No, please do. Absolutely. Pin anything that you guys got up there that you want. You are more than welcome to. Anybody that's up here on stage, if you've got something, obviously we want to get through what he's going to put up here. But if you've got something that's relevant or important to what you got going on, please feel free at all times to pin that up. No douchebags, no dumb posts. We'll pull it down. So that's it.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Thanks again for having me. And yeah, if it was a little bit later in the day, I would have a beer and a slice of pizza with you. But I got my coffee and my water before I can do anything.
Absolutely, that's important.
So yeah, so basically, if you guys don't know who we are, I know you do, J Change, but we offer a free NFT analytics platform at nftgo.io. We're also a trading aggregator, so you can buy NFTs directly from our site, and we pull in from 10 different marketplaces, and so you can buy multiple NFTs at the same time from different marketplaces in one transaction, and we'll automatically pull the NFT from wherever it's listed for cheapest. And we also have a free Twitter extension for Chrome, which I think is really cool. And we also have a data API, and we also do these reports. So this is the third time we've done one of these reports. And I think, we're a relatively new company, and this is the first time I really think we completely nailed it. Our research team has been working on this since September, and I have to give them a lot of credit because it's 187 pages. It's not easy to accomplish. And so essentially what we got is it's pretty comprehensive. If you're just getting into NFTs, and which I'm pretty sure most of you are already pretty well into the game, but whether you're just into it or if you're a legit degen, there's going to be good stuff for here or for you. I really like the interviews we've got in the beginning section. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's free. So if you just go to this, if you go to this pinned tweet right here, and navigate to it, all you gotta do is you give us your email address, we give you the report. We released one last year as an NFT for 0.2 ETH, and we sort of realized that kind of goes against what we're doing here with this free analytics platform. So we decided to do it for free this year, and I think that was a good call by the team. But what I wanted to mention before we get into some of the things on it is that there's some really basic information on here I think is really helpful if you're trying to onboard someone into the Web3 community or NFT community. We go over a lot of terminology, and we also go over the structure behind layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, and what's what. And we also have a little timeline of events that have happened over the last few years. So if someone's trying to catch up and figure out what the heck's going on in the NFT space, there's some really good information on here. So if you have any homies, family members, whatever, that are trying to get their feet wet in this space, shoot them over this report, and I think it'll be really helpful for them. So have you had a chance to really dive into any section, or did you have any sections in the report that you're curious about? Or do you want me to just sort of cherry pick some data?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it'd be fun to just kind of go through it and chat about it. So, like, my major takeaways are, like, one thing that you just said there, and it just jives exactly with what I was thinking when I was reading this last night and kind of going through it, was, holy shit, this is like an executive summary of the NFT market, right? It just gives you such like a great overview of everything from like blue chips to whale stuff to, like you said, even just words, so that you can start to pick up on the terminology in the space. So, like, I did, like you said, I forwarded this to a couple people in my family and some other people in, the IRL world that aren't really interested yet, and said, hey, take a look at this, because this is kind of a different overview of what you should be looking at. And again, like, the thing that caught my mind immediately is like when you go to the blue chip collections, first one you see is the Bored Apes, right? And obviously, I'm a big Yuga fan, so like that was really that caught my eye, and then I started going through all the other blue chips that you had there. And so I thought that was a great way to really introduce. And like you said, if this is someone's first glance into kind of this ecosystem, that was a great introduction into kind of what's important and the things to be paying attention to. So great on you guys. Good on you, mate.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, I really couldn't agree with you more. So my computer's being a little bit slow here, so let me try and navigate to a fun page here. So basically, after you get through the table of contents and preface and things like that, and we go in, we thank our partners a little bit, and then we start off with this little interview section, which I think is really cool. So we call it Degen Talk. So we tried to get people from all around the Web3 world. So we have a couple apes. We've got Franklin is bored. We've got Benjamin. We've got a CryptoPunk, Borovic. We've got someone with the Moonbird, someone with a Doodle. So we basically tried to get the information as least biased as possible, so that we can sort of balance out the type of information that we're getting. And we just asked them some relatively basic questions. And we have the same questions asked from a bunch of different people to sort of create our own little data sets here. And even though they're subjective opinions, by asking multiple people who are degens from across the Web3 space, enables us to create some data points and get some deeper insights into what they feel about the market. And I think stuff like that is just as important as hard data and hard numbers. So the degen part, or the degen talk part, is pretty cool. And I think it's cool that, so like these guys, Borovic and Franklin is bored. Like, I mean, Franklin Bored, he's a millionaire, right? He doesn't need anything from us, and he doesn't need anything from the Web3 community. But the fact that he took time out of his day, because we didn't pay him, he just took time out of his day to answer these questions for free and to share his insights with the NFT world for free, just trying to help out us traders, right? And so that's one of the things that I think is the coolest about this. Not necessarily the information that we have on here from the interviews. I mean, obviously, I think it's helpful, but I think the coolest part is that these dudes who have made so much money from trading NFTs aren't going to big league us and are still going to try and contribute to this community and try and help us all learn and grow. And that's one of the most beautiful things that I've found in the Web3 space and in the NFT space is, albeit there may be some toxicity here and there, for the most part, there's a lot of really wonderful people that are here trying to lift each other up and build each other up.
That's a great point, man. That's a fantastic point. And like, and if you spent, and people who kind of understand the difference between, you know, where we are now, like what Web3 is, because when I got into my blockchain, you know, journey, Web3 wasn't a thing. That was crypto, right? And so where I kind of left all of that behind was that toxicity. Crypto to me is a completely different pillar of this entire ecosystem than Web3 and NFTs are. The people are different. The ethos is different. The energy is different. And so, like, yeah, sorry, I absolutely agree with what you were saying.
Yeah, no, don't be sorry at all. Kenton, he's a friend of NFT Go. He's got his hand raised. What's up, Kenton?
Hey guys, what's going on? No, NFT Go. This is great. We're talking about the report and J Change. That's wild. You said that Web3 wasn't a thing when you got into crypto. Because like for me, it's just funny because I've showed up here 9 months ago, and that's been the whole thing. But you're absolutely right. I heard a Bitcoin maxi tell everyone last night that Ethereum was going to die, and I thought, wow, that's yeah, right. I was like, wait, what? But no, I wanted to say this. NFT Go. This report is huge. Like honestly, I have looked through it, but I'll be very frank. I haven't like read through it to like be like, yes, I totally understand where the market was. But I think the point to that was like, I think that this is like exceptionally well done to the point where, are you sending this to businesses? Because like this is almost way too much for like NFT, like introductory NFT people, and I mean that in a good way. This is more of like you'd present this to people who really want to get involved from like a business standpoint, or even people who look at this as investing. And again, I'm not going to say it isn't necessarily, but there are people who look at it like that. That's just how it is. So yeah, have you been sharing this with businesses, quote unquote investors, VCs, anything like that?
Yeah, well, we're trying to share it with as many people as we can, to be perfectly frank. So so for me at my position here, so I run the Twitter and I do SEO and I do BD. So my main job here running the Twitter is to communicate with guys like you and J Chains and to distribute it to you guys and just let as many of the quote unquote Web3 influencers in Web3 know about it. But yeah, we're doing our best to get the word out as much as we possibly can. So yeah, it's difficult because so you're trying to balance being helpful and being annoying and asking for favors, right? So yeah, sure, I'd love it if every influencer in the world and every VC and every business person related to NFTs or Web3 would retweet it and talk about it. But I don't want to bug people, so I'm just doing my best to get the word out in a nice, polite way. Like, hey, we worked really hard on this thing. It's really helpful. And instead of directly asking people, oh, you know, do this for us, do that for us, just like, here's this really cool thing we made. I hope you like it. And some people will read it, some people will share it, some people will ignore us. It's just, you know, that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, that is, like you said, the way the cookie crumbles. But getting this into more hands should be a fairly easy thing. You know why? Because it's free. People love things that are free. People love, and you know, in conjunction with some of the tools that you guys have on the platform, I think it's just raising the awareness of what you guys are doing. I think would set probably this thing into a whole nother tone if people just realized, you know, the analytical tools that you can get just by using, you know, your platform. And then again, just to read this thing, I was amazed because I did not read last year's. I didn't even, you know, when it said that this is the third one, I was like, oh shit, I don't remember the first two. And this is just an absolute great tool. So if you guys can, because you know the link is posted up in the nest, make sure that you get this thing, you know, download it for yourself, but also share this with your network. Let more people get information like this, because this is how, again, like we were talking with, and I got a sponsor for, for Web3 Breakfast on a couple of days, during the week with the Golden Baboons. And so we were talking about this yesterday. And one of the things that they're doing is, they're bringing a Web2 focused investor group into Web3, right? That's what we need. We need to find more ways to bring people in. So if you have like, a group of dudes that that are like stock traders, and maybe they're not interested in NFTs yet, and you send them this, I guarantee you, if they're financially sound, if they understand, markets, they get their hands on this thing, like it would make sense, and it might pull some more people in. So we all got to do what we got to do to get more people in here, because that's how the space grows. We've all realized now that this is just a little echo chamber that we're in. The money is not fresh. We need fresh injection.
Fresh injection comes with effective outreach, right? And I feel like so much of what we do is for us instead of for them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in order for us to break that paradigm, to shift the paradigm, we got to get out here and we got to start doing things that involve their social circles and make our presence felt in their social environments. I feel that might be the most effective way, right? So if we're just focusing primarily on NFT conferences and, DeFi conferences and things of that nature, we're only catering to our own audience. But once we start making our presence into their sorts of conferences and showing, like supply chain analysts, things of that nature, and we start showing the presence and introducing ourselves, it'll open up people into more mainstream adoption, because when they're in places of comfort and they see you or your business entity in a place of comfort that they're accustomed to, they're going to have a level of trust for you. So might be a good way for us to start looking to tackle integration.
Do you think that do you think that the Digi-Doo-Doo commercial was a good intro in a different?
Man, that shit was horrible.
It was
horrible.
Like that was a horrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible, and it's very unsafe. And it, you know what I'm saying? For like, just think about it. It's safe, but it's unsafe, right? Because it leads for a newbie to thinking, oh, it's just if I see a QR code, scan the QR code. If you scan the wrong QR code, your shit will get drained. You know what I'm saying? That thing had access to your wallet the moment that you clicked on it. So,
yeah,
I take it.
I was so frustrated. I'm a big football fan and obviously an NFT nerd, so I was super excited for it. And I even had one of my buddies. I had him install MetaMask on his wallet so he could pay gas if he needed to. And we were all excited. And I was building up everybody. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a commercial. We're gonna be able to mint an NFT. So my whole goal was to onboard my buddy into the NFT ecosystem. And the commercial comes up, and I scan the QR code, and it takes me to this
his Twitter page.
And so my buddy doesn't even have Twitter installed on his phone, because I didn't know that had to happen. So it was impossible to onboard him. And then I was frustrated because I don't have my personal account on my phone, because I never even use it anymore. I'm always on this one, and I didn't want to retweet and do all these things to have to get an NFT with the main account, because it's kind of unprofessional. So I was super frustrated with that whole situation.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I thought the DigiDragons, I thought it went great. Everything worked out perfect.
That's because you got one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind, my bad. Go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course it was great for you, Turbo. Yeah, I think, and for the select few that it did work out for, obviously, it was a cool thing, great thing. There's some, you find the silver linings in this, right? Like you saw a live mint happen on live TV, right? Like, so that's cool. How did it all work out? Terrible. Like you said, like leading people to this guy's personal Twitter account was obviously
nasty.
That was just a dirty way to do it. You got to at least take them to the company webpage, for Christ's sake. Come on.
But I think it was an error, though. I think it was just an error, because like I said, when I went to the
I don't believe that.
Computer.
No way.
Oh man, because look, I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, because when I did it from the computer, it didn't take me to a Twitter page. I went to a mint page. So I took the same link and I just cut and pasted it to my browser. And when I did that, it took me to a mint page. I didn't go to a Twitter page. I went to a mint page. I think it was an error in the phone when we tried to like click the link or whatever. It took us to the wrong spot from the phone. But when I went on the actual website, I went to a website.
He's going to recoup. Here's why I said I don't feel it was a mistake. Just briefly, right? He's going to recoup the funding from all the audience that he just gained through sponsorship. So by it directing it to his personal account, he's then placing himself in a position to get because Twitter is about to introduce sponsored paid ads under your posts and tweets and shit like that. So he'll wind up being a recipient of all that data and information that's coming his way. You know what I'm saying? So that's a self-serving interest. And then as far as the giveaways, if you set up an entity in the correct fashion, if you're giving away NFTs, that's a tax write-off.
Tax write-off.
You know what I'm saying? And if he was going to
Dang.
do it, he should have did a check sort of style collection where you can burn them and shit. But he didn't.
I wanted to mention that too. So like as a marketing professional, I completely understand what they're doing. So like we give away a lot of free tools and stuff, right? But so how we determine our valuation, and we haven't really monetized yet or done ads or anything like that, but we're gonna have to figure out something like that in the long run. But so the more Twitter followers you have, the more website traffic you have, the more emails you have on your email list, the easier it is to figure out a way to monetize, right? And he spent like $6.5 million on the spot. So I don't blame them for trying to get Twitter followers from it. I just wish that would have been communicated a little bit more clearly so I could have been better prepared. So like, I'm not going to hate on someone for trying to get paid and get their money back. They're giving away the free mint. They're spending millions of dollars getting the word out about Web3 and all of that stuff. I really respect. I was just personally frustrated because I wasn't properly prepared and I wasn't able to properly prepare my friend. So I couldn't onboard somebody and I couldn't get it myself. But I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, you know, it was self-serving, but he also spent $6 million and you got to get that money back somehow.
Well, he also has like 8 collections or something like that, and they're all like they've all collected over 1,300 in the secondary.
Yeah, like
He's about to drop another.
It's well, Gabe has done a really good job, and so obviously, you know, if there was a magazine called Engagement Farmer of the Year, I know there's Farmer of the Year, but if there was Engagement Farmer of the Year, he definitely will take the crown. Seth, you've had your hand up for a minute, and I'm sure your arm, even though you've got really like strong muscles in your arms, I would assume that your arm is tired at this point. So what you got?
No, that's a misconception. Having big muscles actually makes you more tired when you're holding your arm up because you don't do enough cardio. This is you know, nothing's perfect, man. No such thing as free lunch. But appreciate you calling on me. Yeah, no, I'm just excited to hear from builders, right? People who are actually building things that have real utility. The crossover function that NFTgo.io offers, because I featured it on my show as a free resource for my audience. Maybe you don't know, if your ears have been burning, NFTgo.io, like, it's because you are building something that's so useful, it's undeniable. So when you're a content creator, you have to bring these kinds of sources to your audience so that you show them, right? The people who are interested in the so-called blue chips because like they come from that more traditional world. And so for them, the language you have to speak is like, okay, well, you know, this is similar to your blue chips. I mean, why did we even start calling it blue chips? Because of traditional investors, right? Institutional investors. But speaking to that person and having there be like a blue chip index the way you have and have it be so easily laid out and having it be a data-driven source so people can make really great educated decisions. I basically wanted to nerd out real quick, you know, fanboy out a little bit and just say like I'm in total support of what you guys are doing because it gives that full crossover, right? The degens always have alpha because they spend the time, right? They spend hours upon hours. I mean, in the aggregate, way more than 10,000 hours, right? If that is still true, right? I don't know. Have we debunked that yet? The 10,000 hour rule? Maybe we have, but I think degens. I think degens definitely put it in them. Yeah, to be an expert. Yeah, I don't know if we have yet or not, but degens definitely prove it that to get the alpha at least, you do have to put in the time, right? You got to look in uncommon places to be able to find gems, right? Those are just the facts. It was true back in the days of penny stocks too, right? People who were looking for something that was undiscovered in the stock market. And so like, it's just like, you know, same struggle, different battlefield, I guess. But the degens do that. What NFTgo.io has put together though, is that really great crossover tool that anybody can approach. And if, regardless of their background, traditional investor or non-traditional investor, right? Degen investor that's coming in and saying, hey, no, I understand some things fundamentally about this space that a traditional investor will not. Like you simply can't teach them what degens know. Like you can try. And the way that you do it is by having a presentation of the data that is very data and analytic driven, the way that NFTgo.io has it. So I just wanted to shout you out. I think what you're doing is great. And I hope you keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And shoot me a DM. I mean, if you've been talking about us on your show, I'm happy to come on and chop it up with you sometime. So just let me know, my brother.
Boom.
Yeah, no, much appreciated. It's open mic for anybody who's building, right? Like these in the builders market. Like if you're making stuff that matters, like 100%. Yeah, I want to hear from you. My audience wants to hear from you. But I mean, hey, that's why you're here with Jay Chains on Web3 Breakfast, who he chops it up every day, all day, with some of the best builders. So like, nobody should be shocked that you're here now with Jay Chains.
You're very kind.
Yeah, that very much. Jay Change. See, you're doing something similar to what we're doing. We're trying to add value, right? And we see you adding value. So, you know, we're not going to try and big league you. We've seen some other people that are where we've tried to get on their shows, or they've tried to get on our shows, and some people won't even come on be a guest on our Twitter space unless we give them an ETH or something. We're like, "What? We're already offering you all this stuff for free. Yeah, come chat with us." And so I appreciate you being so kind and generous.
Oh, come on, man. You know, our relationship goes, I think, back to pretty early last year. So I'm super bullish on what you guys are doing as well. And I think that it's, you know, it's important to me. So like having you guys on my show is fantastic. And I think not only is this, you know, what we need to see more across the board, because this is the build market. You know, obviously maybe some things are changing. You know, I know the hype's going right now. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm still cautiously optimistic. I think that we all should remain vigilant with some of these prices. I don't want to steer anybody wrong and say, you know, don't ape in, and you know, then we rocket ship to the moon. And I don't want it to be my fault, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you cautiously optimistic still, or is it game on?
Yeah. So first and foremost, let me preface this by saying none of what I'm about to say is financial advice. I'm not a genius. I'm just a nerd, and I work hard. But so I'm not the founder, right? I mean, I'm relatively high up in the company, but the founders are a heck of a lot more intelligent than I am. However, I do think I know a few things. So none of this is financial advice. Don't listen to what I'm doing. Just maybe read up on some of the stuff that I'm saying. So first and foremost, we need to keep the market going, right? So I wouldn't suggest people just randomly ape into stuff, but keep an eye out on things. If there's a project you believe in, get into it. If you're not spending money that's gonna hurt you to lose, right? So just if you can save up $500 at the end of a month or whatever, and you can turn that into ETH, and you can toss that into a project, and it's not going to affect you if that goes to zero, get into it. Do some research. But in terms of, are we into a bull run right now? I'm cautiously saying not yet. I personally don't think we're going to see a real bull run until after the Bitcoin halving. If you look at the data over the years in the crypto market, normally it's about between 30 and 90 days after Bitcoin halving is when a bull run starts. So if you're not aware of that correlation, just Google around a little bit about the Bitcoin halving and about the correlation between that and the crypto bull run. And so generally speaking, since the NFT market is so new, so far, there's been a fairly direct correlation between the crypto bull run and the NFT bull run. However, we're not sure that correlation is always going to be there, right? These markets might be independent from each other. So we're in such an early stage of the NFT market that's really hard to determine when the bull's going to be, right? So the best thing that I would say is, yes, always maintain cautious optimism. Never use money that's going to hurt you if you lose. But right now, there's still a lot of really quality projects out there for a darn good price. You know, even though the market is turning around and the market sentiment is better than it has been in a long time, there's still a lot of really good projects that aren't near where their all-time high was. And if you like those projects, do some research, save up some ETH, and try and get into them. You know, because we need to keep this market going and keep the sentiment high. And this way, all of our bags are going to get filled together. You know, and we're all going to grow together.
Absolutely. I know we got a couple hands up. Let's go, Davis. We'll go with you first. Davis Washington, GM. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, everyone talks about the blue chip stocks, but I look for the purple chips myself. I think of NFT projects that just have historical value. I think of CryptoPunks, where they could do nothing for 20 years and still be relevant. I have a Space Bud myself. It's the first 10K collection on Cardano. So purple chips are essentially the royalty of the blue chip stocks at the highest quality and the lowest risk. And they've grown slowly and steadily instead of just all at once. And that's another thing I'm looking for, because there are a lot of projects out there where they're just absolute hype. And when the hype dies down, the volume dries up and people move on to something else. So I like to look for things that have a really strong customer base, and it seems like they didn't just explode overnight and it becomes sustainable.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but the problem with that is a lot of those are super expensive to get into their ecosystem. That's one of the cool things I think Yuga did with the Stewart Pass. They kind of created a reasonable option to get into their ecosystem. But
Yeah,
for a lot of people,
that to me, I think was genius, right? It's a skill-based mint. Like, that's cool. That's different. You know, it's like the live TV mint. It's different. It's doing something different to try to find ways to get people in that, you know, might not have done it, you know, traditionally.
yeah. So we had these guys on our space Wednesday called the Metatope. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're doing some cool things. Super smart guys. And they have kind of an augmented reality type of thing where, you know, you can turn your whatever your PFP or NFT is into AR. And they gave me this really cool idea. I brought it up to them in the space, and they hadn't done it yet because we're talking about unique types of mints. How cool would it be to have an AR sort of Pokemon Go style of mint, where you have to go out there and find your NFT and catch it or somehow defeat it in order to gain it? I think that'd be a really cool idea. So somebody do that. That'd be cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but the only issue with that would be, brothers, that we'd have to go outside. You know what I mean? If you can get inside of my office, I might be up for it. But if I got to go outside in the sun, and for me, you know, I'm here in Ohio, so, you know, it gets a little bit riskier to go outside these days.
Yeah, just wear that gas mask.
How close are you to that event that happened?
Oh, no, I'm far away. I didn't even know it happened, to be honest with you. I didn't know until someone in the space told me, so.
Ken's had us seen that for a while, my bro.
Yep. We'll go to Kenton and then Mimi.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, this conversation is great right now. Turbo, I think that's something you said before. I thought that was really curious, actually. You said you thought it was a mistake with the scan. And that's what I thought too, honestly. And that's what I wanted to tell you is I almost thought that like it was something wrong with my phone when that happened. But like, I think it's worth the discussion. Like I wanted to say this. I know a lot of people are debating the Gabe thing, and we're just debating how do we promote this to the masses in general, which literally ties into everything, like the report, everything we're talking about. I think that there's so much still to come in terms of like getting people to understand this. I mean, guys, like Manifold introduced burn mechanics, and like everyone's freaking out about that. And when you think about that, all that is a software update. You know, like I understand it's a little bit more. I don't want to devalue the blockchain, but the point is we're so early that like the extra updates we get revolutionize the way we create art in the industry, and that is wild. So like when it really does come to this, like I think that we're just still not there yet. Like, I know that we say we're all just here. We're only talking on like, you know, in the terms and language that we understand. But I guess we just need some more. Like, I think we need more steps like this report and more things to do that. Because, yeah, I don't think that sending them all to a Twitter is going to help them understand necessarily how a mint works. Was it a good step? Yeah, but I think that the debate now is what can we do moving forward to do a better job at that? Like, frankly, you know, if people are going to say that this wasn't the best way, there's got to be something more optimal.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought of it. They should have either developed or paid for a course into the like the 101s of what NFTs, blockchain, crypto are, and it should have taken them directly to that. And that would have been a much more serving thing for the Web3 community than this asshole sending him straight to his Twitter account. Mimi,
well, but Jay.
Nah, I know you got an egg. You're happy because you got an egg, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna let Mimi go, but I was just I'll let him go, and then I'll save my comment for I'll be polite.
All right, Mimi, you're up. How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you doing, JJ?
Good to hear from you.
Good. Likewise. Yeah. Well, I'm a bit more of a noob in the space. That's what I tell most people. I'm here because mine is my husband, and mind your biz, and so he kind of got me into it. But I'm not really, a tech geek or anything like that. but I did see the utility of NFTs like in the arts, which is what I'm really interested in. And just the other day, I was at a demo for, of all things, a dance fitness platform. And I'm like, I'm just going to approach this guy. I'm going to ask him if he has considered Web3 or NFTs for his new platform. And of course, his first question is, what's an NFT? What's Web3? I'm like, I'm going to send you an email. And from there, I'm making that connection today. But I really didn't know where to go from there. But I know that this is kind of the bridge, right? This is someone out there, IRL, and with people who have no idea what Web3 is, but I know that NFTs are going to be useful for this person. Well, I happened to be on a space like a couple days after, and it was kind of a random space that I hopped into, wasn't really connected to the host, like didn't know who they were. This woman was totally brilliant, and in like less than 60 seconds gave me 3 different ideas of a practical application for NFTs with this guy's platform. So I really see that there's kind of a bridge, I think, that needs to happen between people, well, noobs like me who are like, they know that they need to come into this space, but they aren't veterans like y'all are, and people who live wholly in Web 2. But they're creating things that will be completely useful in NFTs. So anyway, that was just on my mind as you guys were talking about all of that. Like, oh, I don't want to go outside, and it's like, but what about the people who are outside? they're going to be using NFTs. Like in a year, they're all going to be using NFTs. They won't even know it. So anyway, you guys just got me thinking about that this morning.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Mimi.
You should send the link to our report.
Jay Chains, I feel like Mimi's trying to take a shot at me right there. Gonna go outside. That's all right.
Go touch some grass. Do it, man. Get outside.
No, I want to say though, real quick, this is a little bit off topic, but hey, Mimi, thank you so much for being here, supporting your husband. That is absolutely incredible. That's what we need. When we want to talk about the major adoption that we need, let's just start with our spouses. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's got to help out so much. I don't know that for sure. I lost mine, you know what I'm saying? And it's, let's not do that. So let's take that time. But I just want to definitely congratulate you guys, and taking that step, because that is huge. And shouts out to everybody who's doing that. But Jay, what I wanted to say on the last thing I'll say about Gabe, and we can just let it go. I got an egg, I know, but no one ever said that he was trying to get Twitter trying to get adoption. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't say he was trying to get people to adopt. And I honestly thought that the whole play in that was to try to get a buying frenzy, because there's only 4,000. There's about 400 million people, or about 420 million people in crypto, 113 million people watching the Super Bowl. I kind of thought it was just going to be a buying frenzy. So, but that's the last thing I'll say about it. Will, thank you, man, for letting me get that out.
I appreciate you. Turbo. Will, what's up, my man?
Well, you piqued my interest, and this conversation is very interesting here. So first off, I want to say that I agree to disagree with most of the sentiment in here. I feel, and I didn't experience what you guys are talking about with that advertisement that was run during the Super Bowl firsthand, but I did witness the aftermath. I did witness the outcry from this community. So we can all agree that was done very poorly, and it wasn't the right perception that we should be giving people who aren't here yet as an introduction into this space. Saying that, Jay Chains, I will disagree with you on this one point. Instead of it being a paid course, it should have been a free course. If we truly are going to change the world, if we truly are going to change the current constructs, if we look at the current education models of how people get skills training and higher learning training or higher learning education, that's a pay to play model, right? We need to flip the script on that. We need to incentivize them to learn in this space. And that's why I'm so attracted and drawn to the learn to earn model. We can reward them for their participation and teach them a new way to learn new things. But the absolute lowest barrier of entry into the space is by giving them the pathways and the education at no cost to them. Thank you for your time and space. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And maybe the way that I said it was hard to understand. No, but I absolutely agreed with you. And that's what I was thinking was that, you know, Gabe and his company should have paid for that course and then offered it for free for anybody that when they got to it said, is this something you're interested in? 100% agree with you. And it should have had some kind of learn to earn mechanic into it, whether you earned a token, a POAP or something, some kind of entry level something into the world of NFTs. That would have been most beneficial. That would have been the thing to do versus sending people to his Twitter account. But hey, it's over. We've learned from it. The next person to put in a Super Bowl ad, if you could please just send everybody to a course so that they could learn some things, that would be better than your Twitter account. Turbo.
Well, if the Web3 world, sorry,
no, you're
Turbo,
good.
You're
good.
If the Web3 world wants to fund my masterclass to be on the next Super Bowl, I'll be happy to take out the space for that.
Well, I know that through the course of this Web3 Breakfast show, we have started several DAOs. We've got Karen DAO, we've got Dorito DAO, we've got a couple DAOs, and so we'll just we'll lean on the strength of numbers, and we'll get all of our different DAOs together to make all this happen. Because I agree with you, man. Like, and you know, joking aside, like I think you know whoever has that best course, whoever has that best learn to earn mechanics. You know, if we could come together as a community and figure out how to make that be a possibility, that would be the move, because that's a golden opportunity.
Yeah, and well, I just think I wanted to challenge something you were saying there about being free. You know what I mean? If history has taught us anything, free education is not the best education. You know what I'm saying? And people should be willing to invest in themselves. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people out there that buy lottery tickets and junk food and you know, all this stuff that gives no value to their life. You know, I personally feel because we have to live, you know what I mean? Like the people that have to create, you know, have to make a living as well. And, you know, like really, I think that if you want to be in this space at this current moment right now where we are, you know, there should be a level of, you know, if you want to be at that next level, there should be some point that you should pay for, in my opinion. But we'll see what Mind Your Biz thinks.
You're probably right. Can I just before he pops in, I do want to give you guys a quick update. I've gotten through half my pizza and like 3/4 of the beer, and I think that's probably where that's gonna like end. 10 a.m. is a little early to start doing pizza and beer. We've just found that out today. Like if I was in college, I would not have a problem with that at all. But because I'm 40, I'm coming to find out that that's not a great way to start your day. So, Seth, what's up, my man?
Kolaches, bro. You can do it, J Chains. I believe in you. I mean, it's not too late to rebrand. So many crypto projects do it in the middle of bear markets, right? They're like, you know what, we're doing a name change. We're going to change the artwork. You can do this. I believe in you. But yeah, I was going to comment as well. You know, Turbo said it very well. And all I'm going to do is co-sign what he said about people and air quotes free education. There is, unfortunately, you do have to get people to buy in to at least the concept of there being value exchange when it comes to education. And that's why, I mean, hey, J-Chains, how many times have you had to not even rehearse, just say the words like and subscribe? I mean, like, dude, do you ever feel like, okay, part of us is broken, as humanity, part of us is broken because we're so used to saying like, hey, hit the thumbs up, share the link, you know, do the things like the call to action for us is like, it's just a cultural buy-in. Yeah. Like we're trying to grab hands, right? And we're trying to like save as many people as we can in our personal sphere of influence. And that's the minimum buy-in, right? But even that is not free, so to speak. It costs you attention. Bro, time is money. So you have to convince people that bare minimum is worth their time. And, you know, sometimes one of the best ways to do that is to say, look, there's a little toll here, a little fee here. You ever drive in the southern Florida roads, right? You ever go to the Keys? Like, you take a toll road, because if you try to avoid all the tolls, it's going to be a really terrible time. Same with some other areas of the country, right? Like, it's just fine to ask for a little fee and then deliver the value that people are expecting, way over deliver that value, right? And the same is true of like blockchain education. You can, sometimes the minimum buy-in is like, hey, look, if you don't have MetaMask installed, this is a token gated course, right? Maybe it's not even like a fancy token. Maybe you literally just have to have proof of ETH funds, right? Of like gas fees in your wallet to be able to take the course. So that person, you know, that person's qualified to take the education that you just gave them and go put it in action so they can become a degen like us, right? Like there are some things you can do to just help build up the value in that person's mind. And I'm not talking about production value, because I mean, I hate to break it to you. Everybody's got a fancy mic. Everybody's got a fancy camera. Everybody's got fancy gear. OBS has been free and open source for over 10 years. Like, bro, ask me how I know. Like,
yeah,
been there.
But even
right?
that, even that, you're seeing people crushing it with an iPhone and the corded headphones, right? Like, I am a firm believer of the quality content too. But like, at the end of the day, the point is just, if it's content, and I know that's not where this conversation is, but like, at the end of the day, if it's content is your thing, just get out there and fucking do it. Just do it.
100%. All I was going to do is co-sign what Turbo said about education being air quotes free.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always as cut and dried as you think, right? Like, helicopter freebies only go so far, and it can cause really bad habits in noobs. Sometimes you got to just tell them, like, hey, shut the fuck up, go buy this. And if you don't, I'm not teaching you anything else.
Yeah. Hey, it's a rough lesson out there sometimes. Thank you, Seth. I agree with you. I'm glad that you echoed Turbo and I echoed you. And now let's go to Christy.
I just want to echo Shia LaBeouf and say, just do it. But I also wanted to say something that I saw work extremely well. It actually worked on me, and it's what got me into the space. It was somebody gave me something free that wasn't worth nothing. It was actually an NFT that was worth something. And so there was scarcity to it. And I didn't care about it until all of a sudden I had ownership of it. And I think it's something people miss a lot. On the subject of free education, definitely you don't value it. If you look at the amount of people who sign up for a course, if you've ever sold online courses or anything online, that'd be weird if you weren't online selling online courses. But if you do, you can see how much of each individual course people have consumed. And the free signups never consume almost anything. And the people that pay consume a whole bunch of it. So you got to ask yourself, if you're going to send tens of thousands of people to something that's free that they don't know about, and it takes effort, if it takes more than one click, you're already asking them more than they're willing to give. It'd be essentially, and if you say that it's worth something, like, oh, this is really good stuff. Yeah, so it's telling those same people that they should work out and eat healthy. But that's hard, and they don't want to do that because it's not one click, right? So if you give somebody something that's valuable, but they don't value it, it doesn't matter. But if you do give somebody something that's scarce and it does have some value and there is a limited number to it, not only do they care about it, but the people who missed out on it, they care as well. And I think one of the mainstream adoption things that we're going to see work out, if it were like a do-over with Gabe, would be to give somebody one-click access to like the whole non-custodial wallet, like or self, I don't know, whatever, where it sets up the wallet, it has the asset in it, it's all good to go, and you just claim it with one click, where you don't have to know anything about it. But then that's when you introduce this course, this thing that's like, hey, now you can actually claim your thing and use it and transfer it and sell it and do all that stuff. But you got to watch this course to know how to do it. If you give somebody a reason and there's money attached and they have ownership in the whole process, it's a very different situation than somebody just waving their finger and saying, hey, I have something very valuable. You should sign up for it and you should use it and it's free. So go ahead and do it. They might tell you they will, but their actions will prove otherwise. They just won't do anything with it. Promise, I've seen it. I know it to be true. If it doesn't hurt you to have it financially, some sort of investment of your part, you're not going to put in the actions to make it worth your while. So it's got to sting a little bit. So yeah, that's my randomly sharing what I think.
There is something said to, like, when you have implemented like that, there needs to be a little sting for it to provide a little bit more value. I agree with you there. Final, let's go to you next.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Everybody on the audience, make sure you follow these panelists. And you know, when we were in the beginning and we were grinding and we were just trying to educate people to who we were, and I told my team, I said, you know, I think of the quote from The Matrix, you know, and he asked Morpheus, you know, are you telling me I can dodge bullets? And he says, no, what I'm telling you is that when you're ready, you won't have to. And so that's kind of how I look at our space right now, with all of you on the stage and people who are aspiring to be like you guys, is, you know, because we're finally hitting that moment where it's like, hey, you know, when the time comes, you won't have to. And if we keep doing the right things, if we keep educating people, if we keep pushing forward, if we keep showing people what right looks like, even if we have trouble sifting through it ourselves at times, they will come and then we won't have to.
Hell yeah. I like that, man. I like that a lot. Mind your biz. You got your hand up? Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I wanted to also what Chris mentioned about like being able to give something of value to people. And I appreciate that too. Like there are relationships that we have, and this is where like it's so funny how like these spaces, like even if you're not churchy, you have to see the irony in how like this is we tend to operate a lot like how church people do, like very, very preachy, right? Where it's like, hey, let me go find somebody who looks a little bit like me, or in my friends and family group, who will listen to me for a little bit, and I'm gonna like throw something at you that you largely agree with, and maybe 20% of the time you'll disagree, but most of the rest of it is an awful lot like church. If you ever go to like especially like Christian churches, spaces tend to be a little bit like this. And what I'm saying is evangelism is kind of where this comes down to. If you know you've got a relationship with somebody where they're going to listen to some of what you're saying, and maybe they'll, air quotes, take on faith a little bit of some of the other stuff you're saying, and you ask them like, hey, try this out. Like you're gonna have the same success rate as other things that you ask people to do for free, like go to whatever. Maybe it's not church, right? Maybe it's something else, right? Like Chris was saying, go to the gym with me, right? Like go to the Iron Temple and take care of your stuff there, right? Like, but like you have the same success rate if you give somebody something of value and they're close to you. Then sometimes you can leverage that personal relationship to get them to accept it and try it. And an example that comes to mind is like one of my biggest regrets in crypto. Can I share that story real fast?
Absolutely.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Big time L. Like I wear it on my sleeve like a badge of honor because I lost more Satoshis than most of my current associates in Web3 ever had 10 years ago because they were given to me, a family member. They made a paper wallet for me and gave me some Bitcoin in a paper wallet. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't know what that does. I don't know why that matters. Like, I don't even know how to use a paper wallet. Like, how would I scan that? What would I do to hold it securely? Like, I didn't take what they gave me, what was supposed to be kind of like a little curiosity trap, what was supposed to like draw me in. And I didn't use that as my onboarding. And I thoroughly regretted it years later because it was like, dude, this person was trying to give me like everything by way of education. They're trying to give me everything, right? The hands-on experience, the incentive, my first little like coinage, right? First Satoshis in my own wallet. And then, and I just didn't pay attention. It just wasn't quite there because the strength of the relationship at that time wasn't great. And so like, there are other ways that we onboard people, but what I was saying, trying to say in a very roundabout way is just that it's usually personal, right? You only have so much real influence in the world, and you find out when you ask somebody to do something that's actually good for them and is actually kind of low effort, and you do it like in the spirit of like actually helping them, actually giving, right? And I know we've all got those experiences from our personal life, but like, so without continuing to be overly preachy, just saying like sometimes education, well, for most of us, education, it winds up being a personal thing, right? Like where we'll hear something from somebody we know and be like, oh yeah, it's legit. Like it came from my homie J-Chain, so I can trust it, right? Like we always talk about like verify, don't trust, but when it comes to education, like the early steps look an awful lot like trust, and that comes from having relationships. So even if we build up value, like what we were all talking about before is like cold marketing to people that you've never met. But almost without fail, everybody in the Twitter space here knows a few other people or has met IRL or has actually hung out or has, had good times. So we do actually leverage a lot of trust in onboarding people into education. So just want to throw that out there too. Like if you're not inviting people in your personal sphere of influence, then yeah, we're not helping with the onboarding because most of it happens in a very personal way.
Will, I want to come to you next. Something that you said there, mind your biz, reminded me exactly of our quote that we said yesterday, and it actually came from Final Frontier, and it was relationships go farther than the dollar. So make sure that you foster those relationships. Will T, what's up?
Yeah, and Turbo, thank you for the challenge because it indicated to me that I need to clarify my statement. And I'm loving this discourse this morning, this really great conversation right now. So I just want to say that initial touch point of entry should be at no cost. So I just wanted to clarify that. And thank you for the time and space here today, everyone. I do have to hop. I do have a mint party. I have to go at 10. So I will show myself out of the space. But thank you for everyone and your conversation. And Christy, I was not aware of that factoid you put out there about online education. So I'm going to be researching that more. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, no, go ahead, Jay.
Go for it, Turbo.
You sure?
I am absolutely
Such a
sure.
gentleman.
I'm absolutely sure.
Such a freaking gentleman, man. Yo, thank you, Will T, man. And thank you to everybody that came out today. You know what I'm saying? It was great conversations. Pizza Friday, you know what I'm saying? So make sure, you pick up a pizza, because the pizza is more than just substance. You know what I mean? Like, the pizza is an opportunity. It's a circle. There's no edges. It's an opportunity for everybody to get a slice and to share, you know what I mean, in time, and, something that's great. You take a whole bunch of stuff and you mix it all together, and it makes a great thing. And that's what we do here every day on this Pizza Friday, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can always join Jay Chains here at the Web3 Breakfast. I'll always be here supporting him, man. So we appreciate you guys being here. You guys are absolutely the most incredible part of this. Jay, it was a great day, man. Like every day that we do this, man, such a great way to start a morning, man. I can't say thank you enough, for your dedication to the space and just the leader that you are. And to everyone, man, do something amazing today. And I guess, like Mimi said, I'm about to get out and touch some grass today, and I'm going to do that, and I encourage everybody to do the same.
I love that. Thank you, Turbo. NFT Go, you got any final thoughts before we send this one out for the day?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thanks again for having me on. I was loving the conversation, and I'm really glad that a lot of the other panelists were talking a lot of the time, because I was just waking up and day. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just going to show NFT Go. Like, check out the annual report, the tweets pinned to the top. NFTgo.io. We have an awesome free platform where you can study the market, you can buy NFTs, you can download our Chrome extension for Twitter. We have a lot of cool things, and everything's completely free. And so by supporting us, following us on Twitter, retweeting us, downloading the free report, any one of those things is going to help support us, and as a result is going to enable us to keep creating free tools for you guys. And so any support you guys could give us, we just really appreciate. And yeah, and if anybody else has some spaces that they would like us to come on a chat, we'd be happy to. And then I also do a space Tuesday mornings around 9 or 10 a.m. and Wednesday evenings at 5 p.m. PST. If any of you guys have a project you like to talk about, or if you just want to come on and chat, shoot me a DM. I'm happy to have you guys as guests. So yeah, we're just going to do our best to try and provide you guys free tools and to help uplift the community. So don't be shy. Just shoot me a DM and let's figure something out.
Awesome. I appreciate you being here, man. I know it was early. Thank you for waking up early and hanging out with us. Thank you to everybody that participated on stage, and thank you to everybody that listened. We can't do this without you. And so, because we talked about church a little bit, I figured I'd get myself a little church music to send us out today. So, as we go through the rest of our Friday, as you determine the course of action, what are you going to have for lunch? What are you going to have for dinner? Remember, pizza's always an option for you on a Friday. Whether you like pepperoni, pineapple, it doesn't matter. Guys, all jokes aside, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on Web3 Breakfast. We got a couple things going on the rest of the day. Golden Baboon Space at noon today, so be on the lookout for that. And then we got the Grandma Ape Spa Club later this afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. Then I got some family time, and then maybe late night social club with Pickles. Maybe. So make sure that you touch some grass. Make sure that you get some fresh air this weekend. Tell someone that you love them. Get a pizza, drink a beer, or a water, or a coffee, whatever you do. But at the end of the day, just have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning for some more Web3 Breakfast.